Welcome to Adult Buddy Finders podcast.
Yeah. And we have a special episode like we always do.
They're all special.
They're all special.
In their own way.
In every way and in their own way.
Yes. But this time we have someone who is bisexual.
Yes.
And exploring his sexuality and his whole journey is what this whole episode's going to be about.
Absolutely. Our guest today is
a very fun, supportive person to work with.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And today we're going to not talk about his professional life at all. And we're going to talk about being a bisexual person, which is what he identifies as.
Yeah.
Bisexual.
Well, he actually identifies as queer, which we will get into as well.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, I think I know what that means.
Yeah. I think it's kind of. We'll see. We'll see what he says.
Okay, I'll reveal in the interview what I think it means. So keep listening, people.
So
I mean, you've actually booked a lot of our guests lately. Like Kirsten's Connections have been our past few guests. And when you were like bisexual, I'm like, of course, I want to talk about all sexuality. We're going to talk to monogamous couples, people that have been married for a long time, newly married, divorced, all sorts of things. We want to talk about what seems normal, mainstream, all the way to, things we don't even know exist yet.
Yeah.
Which is a lot for us, I think.
There's a lot out there.
There is a lot out there.
Yeah. And people who think they're vanilla may not be vanilla.
They might not be vanilla.
And people you think aren't vanilla may be vanilla.
To someone,
or may not be vanilla. There's so many different flavors.
And if you think they're vanilla ice, they might be.
They probably are. That's just a fact.
That's always science. That's the scientific method.
You know us. We love science. We're very scientific.
All fact, which is a reminder, we are not professionals.
No. I might call us doctors, but really what I mean is we are related to people in the health field. And
yeah. Your sister is an actual doctor.
And my cousin and my uncle was a nurse.
Wow.
My cousin was a...
I know nurses.
We got nurse
blood. So what we're
that
saying,
does not mean that we know what we are talking about.
Entertainment only. We're here to entertain ourselves, really, and hopefully you along the way.
Yes.
But when we were talking about a bisexual guest, I was like, I mean, exciting, want to hear about it, but I'm like, I think I know bisexual stuff. I mean, I think it's more mainstream now than even like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Oh, definitely.
So I was like, okay, this is kind of like more of our vanilla, wouldn't you say? Or what do you think about this? What do you think?
Well, I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about bisexuality. One, because I have dated multiple bisexual men.
Oh.
I think bisexual people are very sexy, especially bisexual men. And I think that's hot. So,
is that kind of a fetish then? Would that be like, is that fetish? I should actually see what fetish means. Is fetish just mean that you're drawn to it?
I don't know. I think fetish is outside of just attraction.
Okay. So you're not obsessed. You don't solely go for it.
I don't seek it out. I'm not like, that's the only thing. But I did date a lot of bisexual men. And I think it's very sexy and hot. And I dated a few of them long time ago. It's been years.
It's been years.
And
of course she says that.
Years and years. And
I barely remember. Let me tell you specific details.
So it was 2004 and I was with a bisexual man. But I found really quickly there were a lot of assumptions that go around bisexuality. One of them being a lot of people were like, but how can you be with him if, like, he's going to cheat on you with other men, obviously? And that was never a thing.
I think I would be intimidated by it. As a cisgendered woman in a relationship with a man. I definitely, like, if I thought that my partner was attracted to men as well, I would probably feel like I couldn't give them everything.
Oh, I gave them everything.
Oh, really? Oh, you were all that they needed and more.
All that they needed and more. but not enough to keep the relationship going. But that's not the point. The point is not that. But yeah, I mean, I understand that fear, but I hadn't even thought about it until somebody brought it up with me. And I was like, oh, I mean, I feel like it's like going around dating, if you're just dating the opposite sex. So if I was just going out and dating men, it's like a man being like, well, wouldn't, there are other men out there that are very different. So, I mean, that's kind of
the same mentality.
Tricky. People are people, and we all are attracted to different things. To say that, oh, because I'm attracted to a very athletic guy and I date someone who's not super athletic, it doesn't mean I'm not happy with the person who's not super athletic.
But it could.
It means that when I go to the basketball court and I see somebody playing really nicely, I will enjoy that view for a very long time.
But who doesn't?
But it doesn't mean I need to go and jump his bones.
Oh, does it?
I mean,
but what if the bones are available to be jumped? I mean, this is a whole different topic, I guess.
I think if you choose to be in a relationship with one person, both of you have chosen to have a monogamous relationship, then you have a monogamous relationship. And yeah, you might be like, sweet, look at that other person. They are hot.
Look at their bone structures.
Like their bone structures. I could get that bone structure all over me day and night.
Day and night.
But I'm not going to, because I've agreed to be in a relationship with another person. And if that changes at all, I was dating a bisexual man, and it came up of, would you ever want to be in a threesome with another man? Yeah.
Ooh.
2 guys.
Oh.
1 girl.
Did you do it?
No, I did not, but I thought about it really hard.
Well, what made you say, did you say no, or did it just never end up happening?
I said no.
Okay.
And it never happened. I said no at this moment. We will have to see how things go. Because I couldn't imagine myself in that moment. Plus, it was new in the relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need to make sure we have a really strong connection.
Yeah.
Before we invite anybody in any aspect.
Super smart.
And so we never got to that connection.
We did not reach to the level of threesome. No. That's a pretty high level.
I feel like that's a very high level. So
yeah,
I have not gotten to that level.
It's like a video game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bad guys to fight.
So many levels to fight through. So many of our own villains to kill.
Yes. Our own demons to slay.
Yes.
My nose is itching. I'm like, on the video.
Got a nose fetish.
I know. And that must be.
That's it. So yeah, I think this might get to be a little hot and spicy episode.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, I guess you never know where things are going to turn. Like, can cuddling be? I kind of thought cuddling would be like a little vanilla? little maybe vanilla, or like the exact opposite. So what unfolds in each episode is always interesting because it's their unique perspective, and I always try to get a good sex story out of them.
And she normally does.
So stay tuned to see if I get some sort of sexy story out of this guest,
Cliff.
Hanging around with you.
We are super excited to talk to you.
Yes, thanks for coming.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me.
I was, whenever you were talking about bisexual, Porter, I was like, I don't know. Like, what questions are there? I feel like bisexuality is in the mainstream so much that it's like
yeah.
What can we not know?
I feel like there are a lot of myths and misunderstandings about bisexuality. So that's where my side of it is.
You think there's plenty of questions?
I think maybe there aren't questions. People have the wrong answers, though.
Oh. So everyone's wrong.
So I'm here to prove you all wrong. So, Cliff.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about bisexuality and where you feel like you fit in there?
Okay. Interestingly enough, it was pretty cool. My parents were pretty like open-minded, I think, so when I was a kid, it wasn't just like you play with toy soldiers, I would play with Barbies, but I would also play with like the Dragon Warriors. And so I think that's probably where that started, honestly, is like, I like that, and I like that, and I like that, and I like that, so thank you to them for being so cool about that. And when I was younger, I did started getting like a lot of attention from women, and that was cool, and I was like, yeah, cool. But then, I started kind of wondering like, hey, he's got a nice ass, I was like, oh wait, she's got a nice ass, he's got a nice ass. Okay, wait, what's going on here? And I think especially back then, there wasn't really much representation for bisexuality on television, really, or anywhere. Okay. So for me, I was like, nah, I'm obviously straight like this, because gay men, it's either straight or gay. I think bisexuality was like this like legend. I remember hearing about somebody's son who was bisexual, and it was like, oh, he's bisexual. It's like, what is that? Right. He has made up his mind. I think that's the biggest misconception, right?
Yeah, and I've heard it a lot for female bisexuals. It's not that she is gay. It's just that women are more emotional, or women are more lovey, and it's more of a sexy act to get guys interested, and so it's not that they're bisexual. It's just not a thing back then.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely how we looked at it as well, for sure. And like, especially the sex thing. And I'll be honest with you, when you're like in your 20s, male, you're not thinking about like that girls are bisexual because of emotional things. It's just like, it's just sexy. And they just like, kind of being sexy, and they, it's for attention or whatever. It's kind of like I think that's what the biggest thing was. It was like, bisexuality is because they're trying to get attention.
Yes.
Yes. And but I started like that feeling started becoming more and more overwhelming in my like, early 20s. And I remember when I told my friends, and they were like, nah, there's no way. Like, you're so masculine, and girls love you, and you hook up with girls all the time. And I did, I would go out and I was very, very, I thought I was very confident, but I was actually just an arrogant prick, honestly. Which unfortunately worked. But I literally would go to this bar that we would all go hang out with, and the bartenders would have my beer waiting for me, because I was like the king, man. I'd go in there, and absolutely. And like, I'd definitely take a girl home at least one. Yeah. Every time I would go there, eventually I'd go to the bar, and I'm like, wait, who haven't I hooked up with yet?
So that's what you mean by bi, more than one.
yeah, exactly.
To pause on that thought too, is that a misconception? Bisexuality means that you want more than one partner, and
you're just like a sex fiend.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and you're just like always thinking about it, because if you like girls and you like guys and you like
you're a sex addict.
Yeah, and you could never be satisfied with just one person, because they're only one gender. So you need that other gender too.
I'm selfish. Yes. I just want everything.
You want it all.
Yeah. King. People aren't like, oh yeah, love is involved. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's I think that's the biggest thing, is back then, even if I didn't know it, like obviously love is involved, but I don't think I was thinking that way. I was, mostly just thinking with my dick, to be honest with you. And I've definitely that's happened before, for sure. And I'll get to that story later about something where I was not listening to my brain and just listening to my penis, which...
the best of us do it.
We don't have them.
I love hearing that.
I listen to penises so much.
Way too much, probably.
They're so dumb. Don't listen to them. But only really once I left South Africa and I moved to LA in 2016 did I really start pursuing like... hey, let me go on a date with a guy. Let me try this out. Let me figure this out.
So you're a full-grown adult. You'd had plenty of sex from that one bar, at least.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but it was always it wasn't like did I ever have like a threesome or anything back then? I don't think so. I mean, I made out with a lot of people.
So unremarkable to you that you're like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I kind of remember. I mean, honestly.
Have you had a lot of threesomes?
I've had a few.
Okay.
We'll get to
like
that.
I feel like you remember the first one.
Like maybe like 6. I don't know. Is that a lot? I don't know.
I mean, that's more than
I think I like to think that I'm like very vanilla, but maybe I'm not as vanilla as I think I am. I have no idea.
Not at all.
But also my 20s was spent drinking a lot and doing a lot of cocaine, honestly. Sorry, mom and dad.
I'm not just doing crack, doing cocaine too.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, like, it was classy drugs. It makes it so much better. Yeah, so I was pretty much always broke. But anyways, so it was also kind of like a blur, and it was also a lot of like trying to escape my reality. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be in LA, and it was just, I thought I was trying to be like a rock star, and anyways, but that's a whole different discussion.
Okay, so you know that you're into not only women, but you're also into men.
Yeah.
You're confident at this bar. You're just picking up people left and right.
Yeah.
And what were some of those experiences of picking up guys for the first time?
Yeah. So I started on Tinder and Bumble, I think. And I think that's when I realized, ooh, I'm getting a lot of attention. And from fucking hot guys. I was like, damn, this guy's into me? What the hell? Okay, I get used to this. Anyways, I remember the first date I had was with this beautiful, I'm actually, he's a handsome guy, but I think he had a beautiful penis, actually. That's actually what I was thinking about mostly.
Did he send you a dick pic?
Oh, no, I saw it later and wrote it as well.
Okay, because I was like,
I'm going to get to that part of the story.
That actually works.
Right? I know. I saw this moment needs to
that's actually, do you want to quickly pivot to that? For me, that's not that important. And I like kind of
beautiful dicks
off-putting to see it before I've seen it. I kind of like it to be like a surprise.
Oh, that's a good
Except
point.
if it's too small.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you're a size person.
No, I'm just a realist. No, I'm not a size queen.
Small?
Too small is like with 2 fingers.
2 fingers?
Yeah.
Wide?
No, master. Yeah, that's. I just like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I've only experienced that twice.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
And that's just not your thing.
It's just not my thing. It's just not my
Some
thing.
people are looking for
We
that.
have things.
Some people are looking for that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so my first date, I remember sitting with him and he was really sweet and very spiritual, which is cool. I remember sitting there and burping and being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. and
you animal.
yeah. And he was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, ooh, I could get used to this. And yeah, I kissed him outside of the bar that night and went home with him and bottomed for the first time.
Oh, nice. This is your first experience.
Literally my first gay date.
First gay date.
I just
first
was
bottom.
like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do everything.
Yes.
What
was this place like? Clean?
It was really clean.
Okay.
His the guy he lived with was weird. It's like this old dude. Mm-hmm. Typical LA, yeah, he's not too bad. You're like, nah, he's bad, bro. You just gotten used to living with this weird dude. But anyways, it couldn't have been better. He was so sweet.
Nice.
He used a lot of oils, which was great.
Oh, what kind of oil?
I definitely like that.
Specific.
She likes coconut
better
oil.
Better than lube and stuff. I'm very much for that.
Coconut
more honestly.
oil is-
I think it was coconut oil. Yeah.
Trader Joe's brand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the best out
I can't
there.
remember.
Irresistible.
Yes, if you
But
need
honestly-
lube, just go to Trader Joe's.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, he couldn't have been a better first time.
Yeah.
And I remember walking outside of the house the next morning and just being like, damn, I feel like even more of a man. I could not feel like more than a man right now. And I think that was a huge turning point for me. I was like, hell yeah. I am not any different from who I've always been. Like I haven't been putting on this like front of being, societally, I present a lot more masculine than feminine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I definitely have feminine qualities to me, absolutely. But that is something that also, it's interesting within the community. It can be some people are like, this is a good thing to talk about as well with regards to bisexuality.
Yeah.
Is some people are just like, either like, no, you're gay, or are you doing it for attention, even within the community? And they could be worried relationship wise, oh, you're going to leave them for a woman, or a woman is scared you're going to leave them for a man. And that's definitely something that I experienced more towards the beginning of when I moved here. I feel like things are changing, and people have become way more fluid when it comes to that. And that's something I'll quickly pivot into that now.
Okay.
Currently, I identify as queer.
Okay.
Because I realized that, and this is, I think, just me personality wise as well. I don't think anything is black and white. I think there's always gray in everything.
All right.
And
this is different than bisexuality.
Well, so for me, queer is I'm just not straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to call it I'm comfortable to say that I'm bisexual.
Okay.
I'm also comfortable to say that I'm gay.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just not straight.
Okay.
It's a little of the pansexual, basically. Like you're attracted to who you're attracted to.
Fits into that as well. Absolutely. I just.
Okay.
But I want to stress that I have absolutely no problem with labels.
Okay.
I know that labels have helped many people to find their communities, to find a sense of identity. And I think that's fantastic. I just found that for me, it just doesn't sit right within me.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to stress that because I really do believe that.
I love that, though, of stepping away from it and saying this doesn't work for me. And it doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people. But for me, having a certain label of bisexual or pansexual or whatever is just not my thing.
Queer fits better is basically
absolutely.
Okay.
But I also sometimes will just say, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay.
Especially if it's somebody, especially if I meet a girl that maybe thinks I'm hitting on her, but I'm, not interested like that. I'd be like, oh, I'm gay. I'm not like, I'm not like hitting on you.
Are you still having sex with women? Or is it mostly
I haven't in a couple of years,
identified?
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been like at least almost maybe 3 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm in that phase right now.
The man phase.
Yeah, I'm
the
just kind of,
male
I'm like happy there right now. Yeah.
And to go back to the labels real quickly too, and like you're saying, talking to a woman, being like, I'm not interested, basically. It's using labels are just a way to communicate. So if they work to communicate, great, use them. If they're not working to communicate, ditch them. And they can change. You don't have to. And sexuality can change too. You
Absolutely.
Have to
There's a Kinsey scale.
Yes. Yeah.
I really do believe that's a very real thing. I also believe that like we have free will, and that nobody can tell you that you are this or that, or that you aren't this or that when you tell somebody something like that.
Yeah.
I really, really do believe that. And I think it's like we should all be very empowered in that standing.
Yeah. I think of a lot of kids that go to college and are told you need to decide on a career. So you need to decide on your major, and this will be what decides what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And sexuality being kind of the same of like, okay, teenager, decide what sexuality you are for the rest of your life. And that to me is just crazy.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
So I like this basically using labels as are necessary for you. I like that.
And how it makes you feel. And then also, like you're saying, it's communication, how it helps the world see you and how you want to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to you, listener? Who cares? We're in here.
I have a little question for you. We keep talking about basically gender as well as sexuality.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so you are kind of tiptoeing around this, what's masculine, what's feminine.
Okay, yeah.
And which for me means more gender, which for me is separate from sexuality. Do you feel like that is, like if you identify more as masculine or feminine, does that tie into your sexuality or is that separate for you?
Where I'm
your
a little
gender
confused.
identification, basically.
Oh no! I don't. I'm not like gender neutral. If that's what you're asking, or something like. Is that what you're asking?
I'm basically asking
Okay.
how you see yourself gender-wise. Does that influence your sexuality? So
For me personally,
yes, yeah.
I don't think I've thought about that.
Because you have been talking a lot about gender.
Yeah. No, I mean,
identity.
I'm he, him,
Yeah.
his. I also am comfortable with they, whatever. You know, I
Yeah.
honestly like it doesn't matter to me because I just think we're all one energy source, anyways. So we're not even, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if we're male or female or gender neutral or whatever because we're just energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I had to like write down on a piece of paper or whatever, I would say male.
Yeah.
So kind of in the similar vein of the gender situation, whenever we're all learning that there's a spectrum of gender identity as well. So as far as like you are mostly going for masculine identity, male identifying people right now, does that mean it?
Oh, do you mean in general, like dating wise?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm more attracted to?
Yeah, and is that,
that's a good question.
And it does is transgender anything like that? Does that
Is
are
that
you
awesome?
drawn? Yes, there you go.
Have I been drawn
She
to
got
that?
my brain.
Yeah, I think I've been drawn to that.
Basically, is it off limits? Is more of the question. Have you had the experience with a trans?
I haven't had an experience with a transgender person. That just kind of like hasn't been in the cards for me.
Okay.
It just doesn't seem like that's. But personally, I really love it when a guy has a mix of masculine and feminine energy.
Oh, cool.
I think it's like incredibly sexy.
Yes.
You know, I think so. My like biggest crush is Tom Hardy for that reason, in my opinion.
Oh.
I think he's like super ruggedly masculine, but he also has like that feminine enery to him, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna marry him one day. So, Tom, if you can hear me, yeah, hit me up.
The proposal is out, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Just say yes. Say yes.
Yeah.
I personally think it's very attractive when people have a good balance of masculine and feminine. Obviously, not obviously,
Yes.
Obviously.
but
Duh.
that is what I'm attracted to. I
Yeah,
don't like
yeah.
just straight up masculine or the feminine. I like them both. I also find that very attractive, and this was going to lead into a question, and then I just got all hot and bothered. 'Cause
me too.
You're turned on by it?
Singing like Tom Hardy.
oh yes, oh people that have both sides are very attractive.
I will tell you one thing. Whenever I think of Tom Hardy, he's always the bottom in my imagination. Yeah.
Oh.
That leads me to my question because your first experience with a guy or a date
Yeah.
was fucking you bottom.
Yes.
Are you what's known as a switch or
I'm versatile.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you are
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dream man. No wonder your dating life is so active.
Yeah.
Are you dating now? Are you in a relationship? Is this now? Is it how
I'm
too
dating
personal?
people.
Okay.
Oh my word. It's like, I'm like, I don't even know where the hell I am with that. Honestly, it's like, I am talking to somebody right now who seems very sweet, but I'm also trying to understand where I am at in that place right now.
Okay.
Like I'm really busy.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's difficult for me to be in a relationship because so much of my time goes towards the other things that are going on in my life. So it's like very much this person needs to fit in with that. And so I think I'm especially attracted to somebody who has their own thing and that we can like, you know. But I started talking to somebody recently who is very busy as well, which I like. And it's only been like 2 days. So we'll see. But I'm talking to other people and I'm on Tinder and Hinge.
So you're dating.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't really dig Grindr so much.
Is that
and
too?
those.
Is that too like too on the
Yeah,
nose?
it's not really like my thing.
Yeah.
It's like very kind of like aggressive to
Yeah.
me and like invasive for me personally.
Yeah.
Here's another.
But I also like how it can allow people to just like really be direct.
Yes.
Just again, not my thing.
Yes. Yeah. Directness, I think, is very sexy.
Yeah.
So here's another thing that's kind of a general I think, misconception, but maybe not. The male gay community is very much more sex driven and multiple partners and just go have sex, versus women is much more relationship. And so do you find that to be true or attractive, or not true at all and not a part of your experience?
It's not true at all. You know what? Stereotypes don't help anybody. But I think it depends in what community you're talking about. I think definitely in the West Hollywood community, it's like definitely more of a thing, you know. And unsurprisingly, men are definitely more physically aroused by physicality and stuff like that. And it's like a bunch of hot guys running around. Of course, everyone's going to want to have sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then it's clubbing. You introduce alcohol.
Yes.
And then sometimes drugs. You know?
Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Mom and Dad. It's the hot drugs, though.
Yeah, and it's exactly. Yeah.
So where have you
from
had
my experience,
sex
probably
publicly?
yes. Where I've been to like parties before, whatever, and then like the next thing we're all drunk and like
kind of an
maybe
orgy?
take a little bit for sure,
how
a few
many
times.
people? A few times.
What's the
I love
most?
this.
What's the most?
Yeah.
The most was like maybe like 8 people.
I love that it's like you're like, I'm not sure if I had a threesome then or not. And we're like, how many threesomes did you have?
I had a threesome on my birthday as well.
Guy
which
and
was pretty
guy?
fun.
Guy
It was 2
girl?
guys. It was 3 guys.
That's not
Yeah.
threesome.
Yeah. Oh, that was an orgy, wasn't it? I don't know.
There's a crossover to orgy. Like, what number do you have to get at?
I have no idea. But
So you're sexually experienced for sure.
I don't think I am compared to some other people I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you think that your sex life is kind of like
Vanilla.
compared to some of the friends that you have.
So who are these
I think
friends?
this is
and
when I
how
was
can we
also
get them on the
drinking
show?
more and stuff. Like I'm not sober now, but I do drink a lot less.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been that sexually active like that for maybe the last 2 years,
Okay.
I would say.
Did you ever go hunting for an orgy? Hunting.
Orgy hunting.
Oh my God, so many times.
Really?
kidding
How
me?
do you hunt for an orgy? How do you find
Grindr.
an orgy?
Grindr.
So that's like
Grindr.
And they've actually made it now that you can't write certain things on there to like promote not people trying to find orgies on there or drugs.
Uh-huh.
So you can't like write party.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly.
They don't
So-
want you having an orgy on Grindr?
I know, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
No, well, like they don't want.
Hold on. Excuse me.
Yeah.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the limit.
You have
This is orgy.
Hey, this is the orgy police from Grindr headquarters. Stop right now!
We're a blow
How dare I
dry
wasn't
Grindr.
invited?
How dare I wasn't invited?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
is it? My chest here? My gut? Look at my thoughts.
Now it's the 2-finger penis.
Two finger penis. That's what I'm gonna call it now. Oh my God, everyone's gonna think I'm a size queen. Anyways, no, it's I don't know, but no, that's where you find it.
What do
Also,
you
people invite you.
Oh, do you
People
start
like-
do you like drop, you know how you kind of will drop hints at what you want and just be like, oh, I would love a ring at some point in my life. But instead you're like,
No.
oh, I would love to have multiple lovers with the lube.
It's more the look. It's more the look of the eyes. Like if somebody asks you to come to like an after-hour party or something, they could be like, "What are you doing? Do you want to come to this party? We've got some drinks, and we'd love to have you join us."
Oh.
You know, just like
Is
the
that
way.
lingo right there? Like party, join us.
I would say like we'd love to have you join us.
Oh.
Is like kind of that I've experienced.
How was the first one? Like, you know now kind of what you're looking for, and even like have gone to look for it on Grindr. But like,
I don't know what I'm looking for. I have no idea.
I know what you're looking for. That guy was it
Tom Hardy.
yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Tom Hardy at the party.
Not Tom Holland.
But I would imagine your first orgy might be a surprise, or how did that?
Was it a surprise? You saying?
Yeah. Did it kind of unfold? Like, how does one?
What was my first
I
one?
have never even been to an orgy like that was
Okay.
happening around me.
Surprise,
It was like,
surprise. Very, very, I've never orgy.
It wasn't like, like those, my parties have never went that direction.
Well, that's because you don't say those terms. You don't say we would love for you to join.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't do the look.
You gotta have the eyes. I'm gonna get a party.
I feel like it's normally an initiator, somebody who initiates it.
Uh-huh.
And then you'll be like maybe sitting there and somebody will start making out, and then they'll.
Do you recall knowing when you went in that it was going to turn into that, or not really?
Not always, no.
Yeah, okay.
Is there the classy make out with one person?
Sometimes. I actually did have like a threesome with a guy and a girl, actually kind of recently.
Oh.
That was, we didn't have sex though.
Oh.
But, we just fooled around and stuff.
Did everyone orgasm?
No, nobody orgasmed because we did too much drugs. We were like, oh no, we're not blow. But that shit was, I don't know what that was, because I remember I literally did the line and then I was like, oh, this is not cocaine. I was like, this is no, oops.
I know.
Yeah. But that I think we knew, because we looked at each other and it was like, you just know. I don't know. You just know. You're hot. We should fool around. It's more of that kind of thing. But I think it can also be weirdly like a strange vanity ego boost thing sometimes,
sure.
Because like not everyone's invited. I've seen that happen as well.
Like me, I'm not.
So
how'd you find out?
How do you know if they don't want you there?
And I think that's also been interesting. That whole thing of like when I started, exploring more with guys and finding, and then getting to that point of like, oh, maybe I want to have a relationship now, and then kind of struggling to find somebody who is interested in me, not who maybe they think I am from the outside. And I think that's maybe a struggle people also have for sure in the community is like, and then they kind of just, I think some people just kind of like give up and then they just like, cool, yeah, no, I'm actually not looking for a relationship, but maybe they are actually looking for a relationship, but they're so used to just being like, used kind of sexually like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's something I've definitely like struggled with. But I think it comes into like setting boundaries, and that's what I've had to learn, and to like also be empowered in like when you get that feeling, making the decision of like, cool, I know what this is. Do I want to do this? And not feeling pressured like you owe them something now.
What are some of your boundaries? And especially, I know you're talking more so relationship, but I don't just mean relationship. I also mean sex-wise and new partner-wise.
I don't just do like, I don't do like the whole like I haven't met you at all and I'm just coming over to your house and like cooking up with you thing. Mm-hmm. Like I don't do
like
that.
A booty call.
I just don't do it. I've done it in the past and I've never enjoyed it. I've just never felt safe.
Yeah.
Maybe partly because there was like a few times where it took a darker turn.
Yeah.
Which I don't really feel like getting into.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But so that definitely makes you more wary. And I'm sure people that have been watching Dharma recently have also it's a crazy thing. It's like you're going over to somebody's house who you have no idea. They could totally be like some sort of psychopath or something.
Absolutely.
They could spike your drink that happens. I've heard stories like that as well, and so it's kind of scary for me to do that kind of thing. So I want to meet at first, see if I have to have some sort of connection. Mm-hmm. There needs to be some sort of connection, so that's definitely something for me.
And when you say connection, you're talking emotional connection.
Yes.
So usually achieved by like talking and
exactly.
Having one-on-one time.
Exactly. And that doesn't mean necessarily that it's like a connection of like, I want to date you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I meet somebody and be like, cool, I don't want to date you, but I want to fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, great, but I need to have that. You know what I mean? it's a lot of like gut feeling and stuff that I go off of. But when it comes to sex, for me, it's like I want to feel safe.
Yeah.
It's incredibly important for me.
Yeah.
To feel safe. I just like.
I think it's super sexy to feel safe.
Yeah.
I cannot get in the mood if I feel the least bit unsafe. And like you're saying, of going over to somebody's house and just not being sure, it's a new place, that I've never been able to be turned on in that situation because it doesn't feel good.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just like the worst feeling when you like feel like you're doing something that you don't want to do. It's like, oh,
yeah.
It's weird. It's horrible. It's weird. And I'm sure everybody also experiences that, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
When they're,
but then when you're comfortable and you feel good and you're in
let's
that
go to town.
Space. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I'm not like too crazy, but I have like a leather harness at home, which has like a little hand, like you can go like that's kind of hot.
Wait. A harness like goes around the neck? Are we talking like
so
body harness?
It's like a body harness, just like
and then you
chest
like,
kind of
pull
harness.
on it. Or?
Yeah, there's like a little hoop that somebody can like hang on and
in the back and the front.
In the back and the front, yeah.
So you could do a little like pull me.
Yeah, exactly. Or like ride me like a animal kind of thing.
An animal.
It's kind of hot.
I ride like an animal. I can be ridden like an animal too.
Yeah. Do you have other toys?
I have a dildo, but it's too small.
You got a 2-finger dildo.
No, it's 7 inches, and I'm like, this is just kind of like.
That's too small.
It's too small. I'm like, this is not. This is like, oh. So I'm like, I can't return this. So that sucks. But
so we got to talk a bit about about the dating life. Have you had a long-term relationship with a woman or a man?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I mean, not super long, but I think the longest I had is maybe like 8 months.
Okay.
Like I said again, like, I don't know, I'm just very busy.
And in those relationships, one of the things I think of bisexual myths is that feeling of you're never satisfied. You're always looking for the other gender. Did you find that in your longer relationships?
No.
So it didn't necessarily work because of other reasons, but not because you were like, oh, I need both.
No. I mean, a lot of it would be, I need to do this because it's what's best for myself.
Okay.
And that's why we ended up ending it.
So that also then leads to.
But not always. I was also broken up with. Sometimes.
You're like,
you
it's
know?
not just me.
Yeah, I'm not the only one who does the breaking up.
I'm not just the king of the bar that always goes to orgies, that doesn't know how many threesomes I have, that just like...
and also it's interesting, as like an adult, and I'm 31 now, it's very different. Like, I'm not really like that anymore for the most part, because
king of the bar guy?
No, not at all. I'm more like been there, done that. Kind of thing, honestly.
You got that. You sowed your wild oats.
Yeah,
exactly.
The crown on.
Really, yeah. Like when I go out, I'm not really going out to like find someone to hook up with. Like I'm going out to have fun with my friends.
Okay.
And often I'll be dancing and somebody will come up to me and I'll just kind of be like, no.
Just push them out.
No, thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Compliment and now push you away.
Yeah, exactly. I weirdly find it like I weirdly find it like a bit of a turn off if like somebody's trying to.
What is
like,
a turn on?
Flirt with me if I'm
with
like
your friend when you're like
busy.
Yeah,
you're at a bar and someone is like, damn, he's hot. How would you want that? How would you like them to come on to you?
If I thought they were hot as well.
Okay, so they need to be your type of hotness.
Well, right now he was saying like he didn't want to be hit on when he's out with friends, but this is like saying that you kind of are in that space where you're like, so how could somebody approach you at a bar?
Or is that just like a no-go?
Not anymore.
That's one of the boundaries. Well, nope, I'm with my friends, go away.
I think be a fucking gentleman.
Yeah.
Come up to me and be like, hey, I just got to say, I think you're really handsome. Can I buy you a drink?
Yeah.
Yes,
that I would find so sexy.
Yes.
You know, not like, hey, yeah, you're really hot. do you want to, like, or whatever, I don't know, just like kind of just like this bravado bullshit. I just don't think it's attractive.
What it comes off to me when you
or
do
being
that.
like, almost like teasing me or something, or being like, I don't know, or like doing that whole negging thing, of like, I don't know, or like, what are you doing?
I know.
What are you, I had this one guy come up to me once and he was like, what are you doing standing here by yourself? And I was like, I'm having a cigarette. And he's like, yeah, well, like, you're like way too sexy to be standing here, like, or whatever. Why don't you go hang out with those guys? And I was like, because I don't want to. Like, what is this? Like, can you leave me alone now? Like, I don't know. I think it's something I'm working through. It's like, I don't know. I just don't like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why as well. Like, I don't know why.
It's just like being a human, being like anything that, if you go up and talk to you and you say something polite or you just get a conversation going, you're going to know pretty quickly, like, you're there for your friends and you don't have to be rude about it. You can just be like, oh, yes. And then you can quickly, but if you go up and you're like, I'm going to thrust my body on this person. It makes it more
I don't want to be an object.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be valued as a human being. And I think that's sexy. I don't think it's sexy being some object.
Well, which goes back to a lot of what we've talked about on this podcast is basically it's consent. It's a sexy way of asking for consent. I think that's it.
It's like, that's what it is.
Versus you're going to go home with me.
Exactly. And I remember once I went to this guy's house. It was really fine. But then he did like this thing. He's like, oh, turn around. And it was like, oh, look at that ass. And I'm like, what am I like a prostitute now? This is weird. Like, it immediately made me feel uncomfortable.
Gross.
Immediately. Like, that's weird, right?
Oh, yeah, that's gross. No.
Turn around. Never ask anyone to turn around.
Yeah. So weird.
No.
So maybe it's just like I've had those weird bad experiences and then I'm expecting that again and it's just like feels greasy.
Yeah.
I have a WeHo bar question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a gay friend came to visit, go out to the gay bars, and he kept going to the bathroom. And he said he was cruising, like that they could go in there and like kind of like flirt in the bathroom, and your dicks are out.
Yeah.
So does that happen? Was this just like this one bar? Was it?
No, it does happen. It does happen.
Wait, you go into the bathroom and you check out each other's dicks?
Kind of, sort of, and you're kind of like very you're very out about it. It's not like it's like secretly you're like peeing and like haha. It's just kind of like, I'm cruising. I'm here for fuck. I'm here to fuck.
Absolutely.
And and it's very like very blatant and the guys that go in there are looking for it and but I would also imagine you might want to go to the bathroom sometimes.
Yes, and yes, exactly.
That's what the ladies' bathroom is for.
But then also you just gotta like understand that like this is what it is. And like, so for me personally, I'm just like, cool, if I'm engaged, I won't. But that's not really my thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm like, I understand where I am.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm not going to be like, I'll just be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Which I've done before. Like,
that's fair.
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
I just go, literally that's what I've done where somebody's like trying to dance with me and I'm not interested. And I just go, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like that's kind of my thing that I say. Like I try to be just respectful because I know it's like, it takes a lot of courage to,
I know.
you know.
I used to love to go dancing with my brother. We wouldn't, sometimes we did dance together. Who cares? But
you can dance with your brother. It's fine.
I can dance with my brother.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Absolutely.
But it was hard to see, because you love your brother, and like it's hard to see like girls just like flat out, because at least the way I did. If I went to the club, I wanted to dance. I wanted to dance with anyone who wanted to dance, and I never had, I guess knock on wood, I really didn't have any weird experiences where people were like too much. And if it was, I could go easily away.
Yeah.
So he was like he went up and tried to dance with this woman, and she was like, like she did a face that was like, that is too cruel. That's
brutal,
evil, right?
Brutal,
There's
honey. You're not that special.
That's special.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, you just proved that you were a piece of crap.
Literally. So she did him a favor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So at least like you have a way of just being like, I think it's very clear to be like, I'm good, thank you. To be like,
yeah.
I had a friend that
I appreciate it. Like, yes. I appreciate what like, I know this takes a lot, but He
and I had like a flirtation going on, and we would go out and I'd be like, listen, go with this woman who definitely wants to have sex with you, because I'm never going to have sex with you. And I thought that was, and he liked that I said that, because I think it's like nice to just be like, you obviously want to have sex. I'm not going to have sex with you. You have a whole bar of people. have some fun.
Yeah.
Throw me back in.
I'm not a catch.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So going back to Greenberry's question with the dating one person, male or female, and then thinking you're going to leave him for the other one. So I guess the question is, are you attracted to the gender or is it just you're attracted to people?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out, I think.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's totally fair.
We don't know either.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think a lot of it is you're just attracted to who you're attracted to. And kind of going back to the labeling, who gives a crap about labeling what it is? You kind of follow your compass, aka your penis or your
exactly.
Your labes.
Exactly.
that brain that thinks for you down under.
Yes. Your downstairs
exactly.
mind. Well, we tried to get our caller on the phone, and the listeners hopefully by now know that if we ask questions on our Facebook group, and then they'll weigh in, and if people are bold enough to call, then we'll have them on the phone. But I can give you the question that they were going to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Even though they didn't answer when we tried to connect. But this is Belinda. She is a cis female in a marriage to a man, and she's talking about how she's recently started to embrace the fact that she's bisexual.
Awesome, congrats.
But she's in the marriage, and she kind of, I guess, drunkenly has tested waters and asked her husband if he would be open to a threesome. Kind of sounded like he's into it.
Okay. And with obviously another girl.
She's kind of thinking woman, because that's this is something that she's never actually experienced, but only kind of what you were talking about, your initial attraction before you actually made to LA.
Yeah.
And then she asked, so she's like, okay, he's open to the threesome. She wants to know if you have shared that you're bisexual with a partner, and then how it went. So so it's something that she's recently embracing. She just wants to know if it's something that could hurt her husband's feelings. If it's damaged our relation, it could damage the relationship. So
I've never had anybody directly say to me, oh no, that's, whatever. It's more just been little quips from people that honestly I haven't dated, but it's so funny because I remember when I started coming out to people when I moved here, a lot of the straight guys that I would say that to, because at the beginning, because societally I come across more masculine, people they 99% of the time, honestly, don't assume that they assume I'm straight, So then eventually when I said, I'm actually I've dated men. I normally say I've dated men and women in the past. Women, not women.
Just one woman.
Yes.
The truth comes out. He wasn't at the king of the bar.
Yeah. Not a caveman.
Woman.
And a lot of the time, they've said oh, that's so cool. I wish I could also date guys, whatever, but mostly, honestly, I've never really, people have just been oh, cool, and I feel honestly, these days, people are way more open-minded when it comes to that, and
for sure,
cool. I think, and a lot of our time we're I think everybody is a little bit, bisexual or on the spectrum, or that's kind of what I've experienced mostly. Or they'll say, yeah, I've definitely moved more into more of a queer space.
What advice would you give Belinda to talk to her husband about having a threesome?
Does he not want to have a threesome?
It sounds like he's on board for the threesome.
Oh, okay, okay.
But you had that experience with the threesome, so how did that go for you? How did you get invited, or did you initiate?
I got invited.
He's always getting invited, right? What the F?
Oh my god, this is so much jealousy over here. I don't know if you can feel it, but there is so much. It's thick.
I'm trying not to.
It's not all it's cut out to be. Sometimes people get jealous.
Mm-hmm. In the middle of it.
Yeah. Somebody might be getting more attention than someone else. That's something I've experienced for sure. Mm-hmm. So I would say discussing it beforehand.
Okay.
Saying, what are you comfortable with? You know, like, I don't know, maybe he's not comfortable with a finger up the ass. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely talking about that.
Yeah.
And then like sitting down with whoever they're gonna, you know, do it with. Maybe also, what about maybe obviously discussing whether they'd want to meet up with her first.
Yeah.
Or if they just want to like find somebody random.
Right. Kind of how to get it going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, so that's definitely what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. But that wasn't your question, was it?
Well, her initial question, Kirsten had a different question.
Yeah.
I got confused.
The initial question is basically, it sounds like you haven't necessarily been inside of a relationship and been like, oh, by the way, I'm bisexual. You come out with that early on, right?
Pre-relationship.
Pre-relationship.
Did I tell her? No, I've done it before in a relationship, and I've honestly always been accepted.
Okay,
it's
great.
just been like cool.
That I think is her. What I'm reading and what I understand is her fear was that she's in a marriage and she's only beginning to embrace it herself.
Yeah.
So just kind of wondering your perspective. And so that's great to hear. I think that hopefully if you're listening, Belinda, we love you, but where were you whenever we called?
It's okay if you get shy and maybe.
But something I wanted to say was like, but I think the thing as well is that she can say to him is like, this is something we can share together. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think that's
nice. This can be fun. This can be a thing for both of us.
Yeah, and instead of it being like my thing,
exactly,
this is me, which may then also lead to more of that jealousy and that feeling of like that's something I can't provide for you.
Right.
Like this is something we can share.
Yeah.
Might feel better for both sides.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's very helpful because at least it's like
good.
I think the idea is like, let's get somebody with some perspective. You have the perspective.
Cool.
And that's good. It's always nice to hear like, so the world didn't end.
Yeah.
The relationship wasn't exploded. It wasn't like,
okay.
What?
No. You know what? Honestly, it's like I've obviously, you know, been in some tumultuous relationships like everyone, you know, but in general, acceptance wise, I've been very fortunate. You know, people have been very like just cool and open in general with me and, you know, my journey, you know, my sexual journey and all of that. So I've been very fortunate. Nice.
For that whole thing. But let me be supportive and then back to my question.
Yeah.
Good for you. You're healthy. Awesome. So I have questions.
Yeah, please. Go.
Going back to Belinda and her question and the threesome, I guess really it comes down to, can you have a threesome where, say, there's a bisexual male who is then a part of sex with the woman and the man, and maybe the man's not attracted to women and so he's not going to interact with the woman. Like it's almost instead of all three people interacting,
it's a cuck.
It's it's more of a line. So you have man interacting with man who's interacting with woman, but woman and man never interact, or something along those lines. Or maybe it's even, you know, two guys, or I think for this marriage situation, there'll be two women.
Yes.
And
they mess around.
A man, and maybe he doesn't want to be
with the other woman.
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I think it all just comes again to like discussing what they're comfortable with and like their boundaries. Are you asking me if I've experienced that?
No, if that just even sounds possible. Is that doable? As somebody who's experienced 6+.
I mean, there's so many things. He could also like sit in the. That sounds so like sit in the corner and masturbate, like a cuck, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the term for it, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Cuckold, yeah.
Cuckold.
It's like whatever. Like maybe he finds it really hot. Maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just. I think it's so like individualistic. I think it could work. Obviously, yeah.
I think she's just getting some ideas.
She's like, seeing what does it before I jump in.
So let's say I'm in this situation. situation.
I mean, until Belinda jumps in. Belinda, this is for you. All
Are
for
you jumping in with Belinda and her husband?
I mean,
Is that what's going on here?
I did
Okay.
notice that her phone rang every time I called.
Belinda.
so maybe Belinda is busy and didn't realize that she would be filmed, and it would be very obvious that she's calling.
Oh my word.
And we're on video.
But I'm sure she appreciates your answers.
Yes, wherever she is.
I hope so. I don't know.
Because it very quickly turned to, what about this threesome?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that wasn't what she wrote. She's like, but that's what she meant.
That's totally what she meant. That just, well, I know, it just made me think of that, and not necessarily what Belinda meant, but just thinking the threesome.
Yeah.
I guess even more so, my thought would be the like a woman with two men, but if the two men don't want to be together.
This is totally her thing.
Well,
This is your thing. This is
I
100%
thought
your
this
thing.
through. All the different ways you can do threesome.
Why wouldn't it work? I mean, I don't know. Like I
think it's right.
I
Like
think
you're
you
saying,
need
I'm
to
just
search Pornhub
talking.
because I feel like there's so many videos like this. It's like one guy's doing this thing, the other, and it's just like one person is like the winner, like, yeah, let's take it all.
In the mall.
Cliff is like, that's like all the threesomes for me. Like they're all like they focus on me all the time.
No.
Think of the threesome. I've moved on.
No.
Well, this is awesome. I feel like we learned a lot, and that I definitely there's a lot of unanswered questions, and thanks for like working through some of these myths with us too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
One last question. Did I make you guys blush? Did I get that prize? What is the prize? I feel like I may have.
I mean,
With Tom Hardy.
I'm not blushing, but Belinda is definitely blushing.
Oh, I got an apple. I'll give you an apple.
You already gave me an apple.
There's your prize. Isn't apple dirty for something?
Apple bottom.
Oh.
Apple bottom jeans.
Yeah, and the boots with the fur.
Super dirty.
Super dirty.
Along with the harness. Apple bottom harness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can bite the apple in your harness. Hey. You're gonna get 700 orgy calls after this.
I'm good, thank you.
Invites to join the
Thank you,
party.
yeah.
I'd love to
I'm
have
good.
you join.
That's a great catchphrase, really. I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. That's just gonna be my like Instagram handle now. I was just gonna say I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you again for your time.
Yes, thank you.
This was fun.
Oh, thanks for having me. Yeah, this was cool.
Hanging around with you.
Thank you so much for being on here and to demystify the myths and to share your perspective and your journey through bisexuality and all those dang orgies. Holy smokes.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you guys so much for
I'm
having
going to be
me.
excited for weeks.
Oh, good. I'm glad that I provided some imaginative entertainment.
She means Belinda will be excited.
Yeah.
Did I say me? I meant
Belinda.
Belinda. And if any of you other Belindas out there have any more questions about sexuality, bisexuality, check the show notes. We have some more information for you there.
Yeah, some links to things we talked about and maybe some other things if we come up with them. Who knows? Look at it.
Do you have anything you'd like to share with us?
Yes.
Yeah, if you ever want to go up and like meet somebody at a bar or whatever, just be a gentleman or gentlewoman and just like
Gentle.
treat them like a human.
Yeah.
It's very sexy.
Yeah.
I like that.
What about our show?
What else is sexy for our show?
Like and share so I can pee, please. If you don't like and share, I'm never going to be able to leave and I'm never going to be able to use the restroom. So go ahead and like and share right now, please.
That's right, because
Thank you.
Cliff is all about doing two things at once.
Or four.
Or four.
Thank you, Cliff.
Thank
There
you.
he goes. Thank you, everyone, for listening.